All right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rob Carson, and today I have with me Steve. Steve, please introduce yourself and tell me about who you are and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Steve Arndt, president of Cannabis Technology Partners. We're a managed service provider focused on the cannabis industry. I've been in IT my whole career. Actually did about 10 years as a contract CIO, which was a blast because then you get dropped into all of the funnest engagements.
I can imagine nobody calls you because they're doing well and they
Yeah,
don't need
that's
you.
exactly right.
I get it. All right. Well, so tell me a cool Blue Team Warrior story.
So, interestingly enough, we're trying to get as an MSP, right? We'd love to have full service clients, but as an entrepreneur, you end up taking any kind of business that hopefully has a means of profitability or long-term benefit. So one of our recent engagements was not full service. We were just brought in to actually change out the phone system and put in voice over IP. And they had an existing managed service provider, full service outsourced provider. So I had to work with them to get through the firewall, just set up what you would think would be simple port forwarding rules. Apparently they couldn't do it. They had lost access to their own firewall. And then the next thing I know, they're asking, well, can you get a console cable? Can you do that on site? So got the console cable and we connected up and, let them remote into my machine to do the work. And they can't figure out the Cisco firewall. So now they've got in, but they can't. They think they've set up the port forwarding rules, but they can't get it to work right. So again, they're supposed to be a full service, and this is their site. Finally, they just kind of threw up their hands. So I asked the customer, well, is it okay if our guy has it, has a shot at it? And they're like, oh, yeah, he was fine, sure. So we had to kind of fight him to get credentials. Sure enough, got in there and he does his thing, and took a little while. He said, oh, this is an old Cisco box and it's got some funky proxy rules, but was able to get that port forwarding set up, which is a great story for us, great for the client, and a little bit sad for the existing full service provider. So,
Hey, that's what it is. Got to get it done, right?
exactly, got to get it done.
Cool. Well, we got a few minutes left. Anything else you want to share, or do you want to just do a shout out? It's up to you.
I'll tell you what. So Cannabis Technology Partners we just kind of started that division about 3 years ago. We were in healthcare before with a different brand, Silver Linings. Fascinating industry. You're in Colorado, so you've seen the birth of some of that cannabis space.
Yeah. You're funding my children's education. Quite happy for you to come to Colorado and consume whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what's fun though is being a new industry with every state with different regulations. It's been kind of like being in the old wild west, in terms of IT and figuring compliance out. It's been a blast. I think there's a lot of benefit to the product and the industry, but I think that there's a long way to go for getting some consistency. So it's a fun ride, especially having been a consulting CIO, where I do thrive on getting dropped into crazy situations and having to figure things out. So I don't know, just a kind of a shout out to the industry. And I guess for those people that are always on the edge trying to figure out somebody else's mess and make it clean. So if there's any shout out, I would like to give one to a tech that works with us a lot. His name's Brandon Quantz. He's with Merit Networks. That's kind of his own independent company. Fantastic CCNE, super smart guy. Probably a good future podcast for you. But
okay, awesome. Now it's got to be challenging in the cannabis industry though. Like that's because it's evolving, right? The banks, some of your customers got to pay you in weird ways. I'm sure. Like, presents a whole new set of issues from time to time.
Yeah, lots interesting, lots of cash, right? Some
Nothing
local
normal.
banks that are, local banks in state. We can do stuff, but anything that's interstate begins to get a little bit messy. So that and their rules around surveillance and access control. It's fun because we're starting to see that convergence that we saw with telephony years and years ago, and copiers and all that, now in the access control and surveillance space. So I think that's going to
Oh,
end up being a big win for end consumers, clients in the end, since they've been so proprietary up to now.
that's awesome. Well, cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. And with that, we're going to end the podcast.
Awesome.
All right.
Great.